It's because I read the financial. Just saying. Shots fired.
We good? Yeah. Okay. It's dark. It's dark in here. Welcome everyone to our June 11th, 2025 general membership meeting. The folks watching on YouTube Live would like to especially thank you for your attendance. We typically get some housekeeping items out of the way in our closed session, and then we open the meeting up to the world, quite frankly. Welcome again, folks that have just joined us on YouTube Live. I will tell you, as we typically do, please identify yourselves in the comment section because that is number one. You will get credit for your attendance. We'll know that you were here. Also, that will be your entry into our raffle later on. We have a whole bunch of gift cards right here that we are raffling off tonight. Later, so just identify yourselves. I'm Joe Waddy. I work at King Cullen store number XXX. So we have dedicated staff that are writing down the names of the attendees on YouTube Live. So all you need to do is just basically tap in there on the comments, and we have folks that will grab your name and bring them up to the raffle later. We have attendance cards in the house also for folks thank you, Juan, for folks that will also be joining the raffle. Everyone's got attendance cards, right? Okay, good. So we'll collect them towards the end. We also have another raffle tonight. Senior Rep Steve Ziner is somewhere in here.
Left the room.
Of course, he just stepped out. I was going to ask, it's a 50-50 raffle, so 50% of it goes to the winner, and 50% of it goes
That
to
includes them.
our charity. So the total collected so far is $26.75, which currently means that the winner will get $1,338 tonight.
We're going to give the winner the extra $1.
Yeah.
Tie goes to the winner.
Tie goes to the winner. We're rounding up for the winner. Now, Steve has been selling these tickets around the world, right? So there are folks that are not necessarily here that that might win. So if they win, that it will go to them wherever they are. Okay.
If the number of people in this room spent $2,675 on raffle tickets tonight, we're going to have one of these meetings every month for the charity fund. That's all I'm going to say.
So there will be a last call, by the way, before raffle, so maybe we could get to that number. We'll see. But just understand that this is not one of those situations where you have to be here to win it, okay? These things, however, at the end, that's a different story. We're also going to have a question and answer period during this meeting towards the end. So, Steve, here comes Steve. I just talked all about you, and you weren't here. Hopefully you were watching on YouTube Live out there.
Perfect timing, like always.
Yeah. No, we just mentioned that your 50-50 raffle will be drawn tonight. I
got time.
I reported that the winner will get $1,338.
That's it.
Okay.
So we raised $26.75, and the winner's gonna get $13.38. So, thanks, guys.
All right.
Walk out with a handful of cash.
Yeah. Nice. I also.
If you're in the room, you might be limping out with a handful of cash. Just saying. And you might only have enough cash to keep a couple fingers on it. It's an aggressive room.
Yeah, no. Steve, we did announce that they don't necessarily have to be here to win it because you were all over the place selling these raffles, right? So, but thank you. We'll get to that towards the end. Maybe there'll be a last call if folks change their mind and want to purchase some more tickets. So, mention a question and answer period. Folks that are here, raise your hand during the question and answer period. It's pretty traditional. Folks that are watching on YouTube Live, please type your questions in the comments section. We also have dedicated staff that are writing down the questions that you type in there, and they'll be brought up to the front, and we will address them at the end. So I guess I'm going to move on to our first speaker of the night, which would be me.
How do you move on from you to
Couple, different personalities,
you?
I
You
can
take
just-
one person out of the mix and he's a wreck.
So I'll start by giving the bargaining report. Once upon a time, the bargaining report was just something that we used to give once a quarter or once a year, but bargaining just continues to go all the time. It's a good thing. Ultimately, it doesn't necessarily feel like a good thing when you're at the bargaining table arguing all the time, but the fact of the matter is we are getting contracts done and moving forward. Since we last met, and it was reported in the minutes, the executive board minutes, we settled and ratified the Stop and Shop contract, which, it's a big deal. Stop and Shop's our largest employer by far, by member count, so that's typically the dog that wags the tail of most of our other contracts out there. Whenever we're meeting with folks, they always want to see what we did with Stop and Shop. What did you get at Stop and Shop? What did you get at Stop and Shop? Meaning other employer representatives. So, it's it was not easy by any stretch of the imagination. Kudos to the 16 folks we had on our Stop and Shop committee. Just Secretary Treasurer Ali Wadi is watching. She just texted us from remotely. So, hello, Ali. Nice to see you. Thanks. Don't judge us too much, all right? Especially not me. If I make any mistakes, tell me about it tomorrow.
When you make mistakes.
But thank you for joining. So she's here with us in spirit, of course. But the Stop and Shop deal is one of the better, if not one of the best deals that I have seen, and I've been able to be a contributor to working at this local, right? So just it was tough. I think I was saying that we had 16 folks on our negotiating committee, including our 3 executive board members that work for Stop and Shop. I know I see Keith here. I don't know if Chuck was able to stay behind us. Chuck in the back, and is Schnars here? Schnars had to leave. Thank you very much for your involvement on the committee. And if we have any other Stop and Shop committee folks here, I can't really see it. There's a lot of faces blending, but the committee did an amazing job. It was not easy by any stretch of the imagination, as I mentioned before. But ultimately, we were able to knock that out and knock it out early, actually. So thank you to everyone who was involved. We had some staff folks also at each session. It's not easy to wrangle up 16 of our own folks that have 16 different opinions on what needs to get into the contract and, the priorities, basically ranking them. Not to mention the company on the other side of the table not trying to give us everything that we were looking for. So just very happy that the Stop and Shop deal was ratified and that we are continuing to move forward. We are still negotiating Partners Coffee. We are still negotiating Roasting Plant Coffee. Partners is a little further along because we've been doing it for considerably longer. However, they are both inaugural or initial contracts where, as I've reported in the past, contrary to a Stop and Shop, for example, where you're just bargaining some differences or some proposals here and there, some changes to what's existing already, every single word, every single sentence in one of these new contracts goes back and forth across the table, back and forth with attorneys at some point. So we're literally haggling over every single word in those deals. So those take considerably longer, but we're confident that we're going to reach a resolution there soon with both of those companies. Just hello to any Partners or Roasting Plant Coffee folks that are watching. Appreciate you joining. Tops Friendly Markets up in Rhinebeck. We are about to begin negotiations there. We'll update you as we proceed. It's one store up in Rhinebeck. Fairway Market is ongoing negotiations. We've had a number of sessions so far. If you remember, Fairway Market went bankrupt in 2020. Village ShopRite came in and purchased the Fairway company and Fairway name, running a few stores as Fairway Market. Different ownership, but same name, Fairway Market. So you might go by a Fairway and go past a Fairway in the city and say, hey, I thought Fairway was bankrupt. But Village ShopRite owns Fairway, okay? But we've made a lot of progress there. Still a little bit of a road to go, but we will get there. We're confident that we'll get there relatively soon. So we'll keep you abreast of that situation. Bogopah Wall-to-Wall CBA, those are operating as food bazaars for those of you who are not familiar with their corporate name, Bogopah. We're going to be commencing negotiations there. We have one of them right here in Westbury, right around the corner. My partner here, Paul Santarpia, is negotiating the Scaturo contract. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. And he had an initial meeting recently. Some negotiations are difficult. Some negotiations are much more difficult, but I'll leave it there. We have a couple of other negotiations still ongoing, IGA and Amagansett. Shout out to anyone who's watching from way out on the East End. That's our easternmost store. We're still going there, waiting on a response from the company's attorney. And if I've forgotten your company, I apologize, but we have a ton of negotiations going on. Every week, basically, we're doing something as far as negotiations go. And if you realize that every set of negotiations you have to, number one, you bargain it, then you have to choose new dates, who's available, who's not available, how's the committee feel about those dates, and basically get together and do it over and over and over again. And that's each individual company. The process really goes long. It's Bogopah, wall to wall. Yeah, I did mention that, but we're going to be starting Bogopah soon, as I mentioned. But we'll update you as we go. I'm going to give a quick organizing report.
Anybody see a beautiful mind? I'm looking at Joe's notes.
Oh,
we're
there's
one
arrows
step away
going.
from Matt Damon right now, just tripping out in the room.
There are arrows going all over my page. But you may not know that we have recently successfully organized another Blank Street coffee location, Borum Place in downtown Brooklyn. So, it's a different operator. It's a different industry, different mindset sometimes. Currently, and I'll say currently, if a Stop and Shop or King Cullen opens a new shop, we have language in our CBAs that those shops automatically become local 1,500 shops, right? We automatically represent them. Although we still go through the card check process and all that just to make sure there are no loopholes or cracks. But with Blank Street, we're not there yet with them. It's basically organize whatever you can organize, and you know what, we'll cross those bridges when we get to them. So a couple of years ago, we organized a bunch of the locations. I think it was 22 locations back in 2023. Then we negotiated for a year to get those contracts together, 4 different neighborhoods. They closed a couple of shops, went down to 19 unionized shops. They opened a couple of shops. I think we're back up to 20 now with this Borum Place shop. But there's a lot of interest. So I'm going to say that, so we represent some of the Blank Street coffees in New York City, and we don't some other Blank Street coffees in New York City. However, there's a lot of interest from the workers in Blank Street. And guess what? Not just in New York City, but as I reported earlier, Boston, Massachusetts, I think it's 7 locations in Boston, have recently sought to organize and have looked for recognition from the company in Boston. Okay, so
Not with us.
not with us, from a different international, as I mentioned earlier. But you know what? That's fine. The workers are organizing. They want to unionize, and we're going to support them as much as we can. So our folks, our unionized folks, our shop stewards especially, and some other Blank Street active members are in communication with folks in Boston and other states as well. Blank Street also operates a couple of locations in Washington, D.C. Blank Street also owns quite a few locations in England, London, England, outside of London, and now in Scotland as well. So they're growing, and their footprint is growing, and so is our relationship with them. So just letting you know, we're still working on them, and there's a lot of interest from all around the globe, basically, as far as unionizing Blank Street locations. So stay tuned for that. It's an ongoing process. I just said all of that. So I reported on the Spur training that took place last month. I'll go into it a little bit deeper. Spur stands for Special Project Union Representative. Okay, so a lot of times we dive into the membership for some help to help us talk to other workers and try to help organize other locations where there's interest. But our staff can only do so much, right? You've seen our staff, the best union staff on the planet, but there's so many workers out there that we just can't reach all of them. So we need help from the membership, and we engage Spurs, special project union representatives to help us along the way. But you can't just go from working at shop X one day to becoming to right away talking to workers, right? There needs to be a training along the way. So our international union has been sponsoring a training to engage a lot of our membership right now. We are focusing on the Westchester, Putnam, and Dutchess areas of our jurisdiction. So 2 trainings were held there, one in Dutchess County, one in Westchester County, where we had some fantastic engagement with some of our members up there, ShopRite and Stop and Shop members, and I'm not sure what other companies were represented there from the workers, but it was a successful training, and we're going to look to expand that and move downstate also. Just mention about a lot of organizing that's happening in the city of New York, so we're going to need members also, not just in the city, but on Nassau County and on Suffolk County as well, to help us to meet some of the challenges that are out there. We've got a lot of workers reaching out to us for some help with their jobs, and we're just going to need some help from folks. But the Spur training was a success. As President Newell reported, or I reported that President Newell said at the previous executive board meeting, we'd like to see that program grow, and we're excited about it. So we'll be happy to invite our IU, our international union, to come down to any other trainings that we may have. They're going to ride with the reps one day and go to shops and have some intimate conversations with you all and other members out there to just see whether you might be a good fit or if it's something you're even interested in or not. But, when we're running from grievance meeting to grievance meeting to walking through the store and, if I'm your rep, I might not have, that half an hour or that 45 minutes or whatever to just deep dive into, what your preferences are. If you're even willing to help, what your history is, right? We found that there are a lot of members that have either organized their shops in the past or have worked at other, non-unionized shops in the past, and some of the struggles that they've gone through, some of their folks that they're related to, and unionized folks and non-unionized folks. Our membership is very interesting, right? And you folks are very interesting when we are able to really deep dive into, have some conversations about your history, your desires, your future. it's a very fruitful experience to have this Spur training. So if we come to your town or your jurisdiction, please engage with us, and it'll be a pretty fun experience. We had some role playing, not to scare anyone, but we had some pretty fun role playing that folks were able to really learn from it. And we've been engaging our field staff in role playing lately, so you might be able to see them in a different light. But that being said, we're going to continue with that program along the way, and I think I'm going to stop there with my presentation. So,
Thanks, Joe.
thank you, Rob.
Santino?
Good evening, folks. It's nice to see the crowd that we have today, and also want to welcome the YouTube Live membership. I want to talk about upcoming events, and even I'll start off with a past event. In May, we had our upstate bowling event for fundraising, and Greg Pasquale, Phil Muy Flores, Rafael Molion, Desmond Byfield ran a successful, I believe it was probably the best result for fundraising we had from that event so far, and I hope that continues in the future. We have multiple charity fundraisers going on this year, and I'm going to list a few of them. There's hopefully going to be more added to it, so pay attention to our social media and our website. But the first one that's coming up is Sunday, July 20th. It's going to be our comedy club in Nassau County, and Gina Guelli is running that. I believe Alicia Ciano is going to help her with that as well. But if you're looking to come to that event, reach out to Gina at extension 1322, and let's make that event a successful one as well.
Hold on one second. If I said that his notes are a beautiful mind, give me that.
Put this one on
Give me
there,
that.
too. At least I didn't kill a pink tree tonight.
This is what Paul's notes are. He has a piece of paper, and there's 40 Post-its on the piece of paper, and he's gonna crumple each one of them as he goes.
We'll see. We'll see.
I feel like this is a psychological experiment.
Yes,
It could be. It could be. You know, I have been here going on 34 years, so it does take its toll on you.
There are tests of my patience beyond imagination right now. Let's go.
All right, so July 25th, we're going to kick off our back-to-school backpacks. So keep a lookout for that for your kids to get a backpack with school supplies. It's going to go from July 25th to August 22nd is going to be the cutoff. So hopefully we can get those backpacks out to you before school starts after Labor Day. One of my favorite events is Thursday, August 7th, is our semi-annual blood drive. We are going to need fresh blood. We need new.
We don't want any of the old crusty shit, just the fresh stuff.
We need new people to come out
There you
and
go.
donate blood, fresh blood. That's
There's
what we
plenty of
need.
young men in this front row right here. Tap a vein.
It's not that. Once you do it, you'll find that it's not a bad experience, and by doing it, 1 pint saves 3 lives. So I would appreciate people coming out and supporting. We feed you that day. It's a nice day. Also in August, we have our August 29th. It's a Friday night. We have our fishing trip, which is a fundraiser. Fred Walter, the rep out there, with help from Steve Zina. So if you're interested in coming on that fishing trip, reach out to Fred Walter at extension 1349.
The trip is out of Captree in Suffolk County. It is a little bit pricey comparative to most of our fundraisers. That's not because we're trying to gouge, it's because to get on a fishing boat today is very expensive. We're only making a few bucks per ticket. That's why we really do rely on raffle purchases on the boat and the 50-50 on the boat to help bolster what the take is on that for the charity fund. For us to really make a decent profit at that event, we'd probably have to charge like $65 a head. We just don't want to do that. I think we're charging 50 a head.
Yes.
And I would tell you that over 80% of that is going to the boat and the mates for their exposure and their costs. So we try to keep that one as controlled as we can. But if you come on the trip, please come with a few bucks for raffle tickets, just because that is the way we generate the most of the income.
Is there a limit to how much the boat? Because I go out on the boats at Captree.
We try to keep the boat to a comfortable number. But I got to be honest, we've never had a circumstance or a situation where we oversold the boat. So if we had that problem, I'd be thrilled.
Right.
Because from the beginning, when Jeff and Steve were out there, my goal more than anything was to have there be competing boats going out at the same time, that one boat out of one run, one boat out of another, and there was a competition between the two. We've never gotten to that point. I would love to see it get to that point, but I also don't want to try to squeeze 100 people on a boat that only comfortably holds 75. So we'll keep it so that if you're spending $50 a person, you want to have a good time. That being said, there are people that come on that boat that don't touch a fishing pole. They don't walk away from the cooler. They don't walk away from the food and the thing, and that's great too. That's phenomenal. Allie comes on the trip every year. Allie does not fish. So even if you have 75 people on the boat, you're not going to have 75 people fishing at the same time. That's a given.
I would add food, drink, alcohol, all included on the boat. It definitely is half a booze cruise.
Food, drink, beer. Alcohol is not supplied by us. However, it is often brought on the boat by the patrons. Sometimes Tito comes along, Jack, Jim, Johnny. They've all made appearances on the boat. Jose sometimes also comes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, maybe we can get them to come to our next event, September 6th. It's the Saturday after Labor Day. That is our Labor Day parade. It's always the Saturday after Labor Day. So write it down, and we would love
Write it down. Put it in your phones. There's not a person in this crowd with a pen and paper.
Yeah, I'll give you a poster.
There's a couple sheets left.
Yeah, there's a couple. We would love a large turnout. We serve you breakfast. There's music there.
For the record, the food will be marketably better this year than it's been in years past. You have my word.
It usually turns out to be a nice event, as long as the weather is forgiving.
Don't sell it, Paul. You're doing a bang-up job.
And the last, since I'm doing a bang-up job, the last is we're bringing back Breakfast with Santa. It's going to be the morning of Sunday, December 14th. So put it in your phones. December 14th, Breakfast with Santa. That's all I have.
Right here in the Union Hall.
Right here.
More information to follow. You pay attention to this. Social media will be putting out more posts on all this information.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Paul.
Thank you, Paul. I think we're going to send it over to our president, Rob Newell.
So, oh, God. I love getting a round of applause before. It's like, all right, thank you, everybody. It's been great. You can't get any better than that. I give Paul a hard time more than anybody that works for us, but he really does work very hard at coordinating all of our events, trying to make sure that they go off without a hitch. I was killing Paul earlier today because there was a problem with a delivery. Something came and he goes, all I do is complain. You beat me up for it all the time. But the reality is he finds the things that are substandard in everything that we do. He tries to make sure that it's the best for anyone that's participating from the membership. And as much as I give him a hard time and he takes it like a champ, I want to say thank you, Paul. You do a really great job for us. And on a positive, this year we gave him a set of nunchucks because if our reps don't raise more money for the charity fund, he's going to start slapping the shit out of them. So any help you can be to your reps would be appreciated. So I want to start with two things. I want to start with saying, first of all, Tony Spielman and I had the opportunity to sit down this morning, get together and break bread. And I wanted to tell you he sends all of you his regards. He is still very, very happy, very healthy, living the dream as a retiree, which is just what we all want at the end of the day. You know, many of you who know Tony well, both personally and professionally, know that he left a little bit before his original intention, and a lot of that was medically not necessary, but medical issues kind of pushed him to make those decisions. And out of respect to him and his family, he's doing great. So Tony made the right decision at the right time for him and his family. And you know, when you do jobs like we have, and you make that decision to walk away, sometimes it's really difficult to transition from a life where just all day, every day, your phone's going, your email's going, back in the old days, your beeper was going, and then to kind of just unplug and spend time with family and close friends and try to learn how to basically rematriculate into a normal life. And I can tell you that Tony, as well as he did everything when he was here, is 5 times as good as a retiree. He is taking care of himself, he's taking care of his family, he is enjoying his pensions. He spends a little bit more time in Florida than he spends in New York, which helps him out from a financial perspective. Any of you that are looking at going south when you retire probably understand that very easily. But no different than the first day I spent time with him on the job. Tony always puts a smile on my face. He always puts a little extra pep in my step. He can take the most difficult circumstance and really shine it up and make you feel better about it. So I think it'd be remiss if I didn't send his regards and tell you he's still 100% a part of our union. So, Tony, if you are watching, which you may not watch today, but you might watch tomorrow, I love you, we miss you, and thank you. I'm going to say the thing I'm supposed to say last, but because every single time I save these things for last, I forget. Happy Father's Day this weekend to all of our fathers. You know, no matter what I accomplish in this world, nothing will even come close to being a father to me. You know, I had one daughter, and then you know, getting in with Melinda, and you know, merging our families together. Now I have 3. I'm not going to lie, 3 daughters is something that keeps you up at night. 23 tomorrow, 21 and 19. But I think, like all of you, it's about family first and foremost. So for those of you out there that are fathers, enjoy the day. Don't take too much advantage, because remember, you know, every other day is Kids' Day, and they'll come get you for it. So just do the best you can without being a pig. Happy Father's Day. Stay safe and enjoy some time. So let me go through a handful of items in no particular order. You know, one of the positives for the people in the room is that you get to hear certain things twice, and I say that in jest, but we have to repeat certain things for those of you on YouTube Live. When Joe reads the minutes, a lot of times some of the things that we cover in our speeches and in our agenda are briefly gone over in the minutes, because that's what we have to do to catalog our executive board minutes. So one of the things that Joe covered was that on May 13th, I was in Chicago with the rest of the International Executive Board. United Food and Commercial Workers International Union President Mark Perrone tendered his resignation. So the International Executive Board, in line with the Constitution of the International Union, had to elect a new president. The Secretary Treasurer was Milton Jones. Milton was successful in his effort to become the new UFCW International President. Sean Haggerty, who was the UFCW Canada President, is now the International Secretary Treasurer. Sean was previously not only the Canadian National President, but he was also an Executive Vice President. There are 3 at the International. That position was backfilled by the General Counsel at the UFCW, Lisa Peterson. All really important situations. When the president of a 1.3 million member international union retires, you would assume that there would be a lot more pomp and circumstance. But you know, the irony is that multiple companies across the country, 1.3 million members in 2 countries, and none of the major newspapers picked it up. But if somebody does something stupid in Podunk, Iowa, it's on the front page of every paper, all over TikTok, all over YouTube. It seems a little peculiar to me, but at the end of the day, we have a new international president. He has been involved for over 40 years with the International, so the transition should be seamless. He is a very different type of character than exiting President Perone was, but we look forward to working with Milton and his team in D.C. For whatever length of time he decides to stay as the IU president. For us on the ground here, it doesn't really impact us too much, but I guess the most important place that the international president could impact us is on a jurisdictional decision. So I did make Joe truncate one piece of his reading of the minutes because he would have taken a little bit of my thunder and I didn't want to lose it. On the 12th or the 11th, forgive me, of May, I received a letter from soon-to-be ex-President Mark Perone. We filed a jurisdictional demand to represent the people at Uncle Giuseppe's in Greenville, in the former Stop and Shop store, and in Sayville, in the store that's going to be on Sunrise Highway in The Babies R Us. And this was something we were working on for probably 5 or 6 months since we found out that UG had forgive me, if I say Uncle Giuseppe's 1,000 times, I'm going to die, so I'm just going to say UG, okay? When we found out UG signed the backside of the lease and we knew that Stop and Shop wasn't going to be able to extend it, we started working on a plan to try to claim that jurisdiction. UG is represented by another UFCW local in the first 11 or 12 of their stores, but we really believe that that's our jurisdiction. This is something that many, many moons ago, some decisions were made with people that are no longer with either of the locals, and including Local 342 as well. And there was some arrangements made, but I think there were certain understandings or presumptions that the company wasn't going to grow beyond a certain size, or certainly wasn't going to grow into our locations that were closed. And, for the last number of years since the A&P bankruptcy, UG has grown significantly, and a lot of their stores are former Local 1500 or Local 338 represented stores, obviously Local 342 in the back of those stores as well. So we kind of felt like, there had to be a line in the sand that got drawn. Local 342, Local 1500, and Local 464A in New Jersey all filed a jurisdictional claim for Uncle Giuseppe's, and we were victorious. So in the eyes of the International Union, Greenville and Sayville will both be represented by Local 1500 and Local 342. That is something that we feel is long overdue. That being said, the company is not waiting for us with open arms. They're not looking to welcome Local 1500 into the fold. We may or may not have a very difficult situation in front of us. I don't want to try to project what the future holds. I'm very hopeful that we can establish a professional relationship with this employer. They're a major operator in this area and in the tri-state area right now, and we are the largest supermarket local in New York. So from our perspective, this is a no-brainer. It should have happened a long time ago. We don't want to talk about the past. We want to talk about the future. We want to build a long-standing working relationship with Uncle Giuseppe's and begin to represent the workers in these stores and others going forward. So in preparing my speech tonight, I wasn't also thinking that I was going to announce that there's a third Uncle Giuseppe store going to the old King Cullen number 11 in Levittown that closed not that long ago. It was in Newsday 2 days ago. So we're going to be claiming jurisdiction on that store as well, primarily because it was literally a King Cullen less than a year ago. So these are the types of things that we're always working on. We're not only trying to organize new employers, we're trying to bring things that we believe should, in theory, be under the jurisdiction of Local 1500 and maybe should have been all the way back. Again, past is the past, the future is the future. So that's going to be something that we try to take on in the coming months. These 3 stores are all supposed to come online within the next 15 to 16 months, with the first store being in Sayville probably towards the end of the 3rd quarter, beginning of the 4th quarter of this year, then with Greenville early in 26, and supposedly Levittown by the end of 26. So we'll see. Construction can have delays, and there's always little issues here and there, but we're very optimistic that if we can get the company to sit down with us, that we can reach a deal, and then we can start a bargaining relationship to represent those folks. So stay tuned. We may need some help, and if we do, we will be knocking. And for those of you, especially on the island, for how long Uncle Giuseppe's has been around, and we know that they're a legitimate competitor for all of our employers. So us having the opportunity to sit at the table gives us an opportunity to level the playing field a little bit, and that's a good thing.
Can I ask one question? real
Sure.
quick? Just for the new kid on the block, could we ask as far as the organizing and stuff too, about the Wegmans situation?
So Wegmans is one of the largest employers in the New York area, vehemently non-union, have been for a very, very long time. I'll be honest with you, the store in Astor Place is a bit of a juggernaut. The store in Kingsbridge Armory in Brooklyn, same thing. You know, there are projects that you can tackle easily, and there are projects that are much more long-term. We're doing some work with, and forgive me, we're on a public-facing meeting right now that's going to be saved in perpetuity, and I wouldn't want to show my cards and then expect to win the hand at the end of the day. I also wouldn't want to say anything that somebody could turn around and use against us in a litigation. But in some cases, you do things that are forward-facing and are obvious and transparent. In others, you don't. But it doesn't mean you're not working on it. I can tell you that as I kind of projected, the Wegmans in Lake Grove has started to slow down a little bit. And look, I think it's like anything else. A new store comes to the neighborhood, people jump at it, they want to see it, there's excitement. Wegmans has a name like Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, people want to see it. But you know, how many times do you want to pay $18 for a bucket of cookies that's $9 down the block? And there, to be fair, you can go into a Wegmans and you can find items that are cheaper than some of the items in our stores. If you do, they'll have signs everywhere that show you which 3 items are less expensive there than they are at ShopRite or Stop and Shop. They do that very well. But it's a culture, right? It's not just a supermarket. They want you to buy in all in. So they have a big nut they got to cut there. They knocked the building down. They rebuilt it. They didn't just go into an existing building, dust it off, and clean it up. I wouldn't want to see their because, again, even if they paid cash, they're working that off, right? There's a debt assigned to that store, and that store's going to have to do some pretty heavy volume to pay that debt off, even if it's to itself. We'll see where it goes, but it's not something that we're not looking at. It's not something that we're not working on. That's a much more difficult process because of the sheer size,
Only because we have interest out on the east, in the east end.
without question.
And it's been a stronghold for us for decades.
I'll say this, and I said it at one of these meetings. If somebody told me that there was the inevitability that Wegmans was coming to Long Island and said, the only thing you can do is pick where you want it, where it is where I would have put it. Because it's not hurting us at all. Every one of our stores in that jurisdiction, some of the stoppies took a little bit of a ding, didn't hit 57 in any way, shape, or form. It's killing a Whole Foods, it's killing a Trader Joe's, it's killing an Aldi, it's killing a Lidl. Come get me. If they're going to kill each other, thank you for coming to Lake Grove. You know, if they were dinging up some of our stores, I'd be equally as upset as I am pleased that they really haven't. Now, that being the case, over time they could, and for that reason, that's the reason we would look to try to organize them. But right now, any employer that's really complaining about their impact is just complaining because there's another player on the field, no other reason. Now, if they jump to another location, that obviously enhances our desire or our need to do something. But I said it from the beginning. 3 or 4 companies have come and gone in that location, good ones that know how to run their business. And they didn't knock down a building. So the money they got to do there and look, they may do it. Invariably, they might be successful there. I just think it's a really tough row, and they had a lot of expectations that I don't necessarily think may manifest. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't have a crystal ball, so thank you. I appreciate the question, brother. So we have 2 new stores coming online that we know about. We have a Mannix ShopRite coming in Staten Island in the old Greaves Lane Pathmark that then became a Super Fresh and unfortunately got run into the ground by 2 independent operators. Mannix is supposed to be open there in the late 3rd quarter, early 4th quarter of this year. We're really excited to get that store back. It was a local 1,500 store from the time it was built by Pathmark, and we're really happy to get some jobs back in that building. Secondarily, we have a new employer coming first to Brooklyn, but potentially to more sites in the 5 boroughs, depending on how they do. And Sarah ShopRite is going to be coming across into Brooklyn with a fresh grocer banner and Sarah ShopRite runs multiple banners. The easiest comparison I can give you with Wakefern. Wakefern is the parent company for ShopRite. They have multiple banners, just like Key Food has multiple banners, just like A&P used to have Pathmark, A&P, Wall Bombs, Food Emporium, and Food Basics. Wakefern has Price Right, Fairway, Gourmet Garage, Fresh Grocer, Dearborn. So there's so whenever you're in a co-op, there's multiple banners. That you can do business with, and in this case, it's going to be a Fresh Grocer, but that's a franchise. So the new operator coming across is Insera. We have a neutrality agreement with them, so we will be representing the folks in that store. We hope that the Insera company spreads far and wide through the 5 boroughs with these stores. They're a very successful operator on the Jersey side, and we've already had some very good preliminary conversations with the HR team and the ownership. So we look forward to welcoming them. I was hopeful that we would get another Glass Garden store on the agenda before the end of the year, but they just demolished the Sears and all of that stuff down in Green Acres this week. Alicia, is there any talk about the potential opening dates there yet?
2027.
27?
Yeah.
Yowza. All right. Well, here I was thinking it was going to get on the books for 25, and we're potentially not going to see it till 27. Yeah, it's a massive revitalization down there. It's long overdue, but if you know anything about Glass Gardens, they know how to operate in that type of a situation. They're going to put a monster there. I believe 80,000 is the number they're looking at. And if it does anywhere near what Gateway does, it'll be an unbelievable success. So we're looking forward to getting those 3 stores on the bottom line, just to get some folks jobs and get some more movement in the membership. Okay, that's good. I want to tell you that we did our Shop Steward seminar in May, and we changed the format a little bit. For those of you here that you were in attendance at the seminar, forgive me, obviously you lived through it, but we changed the script a little bit. We had a membership panel. We brought in some different speakers. We feel that we were able to give our shop stewards a little bit more of an understanding of what their expectations are on the shop floor when met with certain issues. Our reps were asked with less than 2 weeks' notice to put together some small skits and act out a few situations and circumstances so that we could, and in a very comical fashion, show examples of what could happen in any given circumstance on the shop floor and how a shop steward should or shouldn't handle those moments. I think our reps did a great job for those of you that were there. Many of them went into that morning going, this is the worst thing I've ever been asked to do. I can't believe you're making me do it. And I think some of them that had the skits get cut for time were probably a little bummed out that they didn't get up there and able to act them out. So I think you should be prepared to see a little bit more of that. I don't think we're going to have live action role play at the general membership meeting, but I do think you'll see some of these get acted out and get recorded and then sent out at different times, almost like an addendum to the Friday Funnies, but more on the educational side. There'll always be a degree of humor. I think sometimes the best way to impart some type of new knowledge on somebody is to make it entertaining while at the same time make it educational. So between that and the fact that we're all a little bit goofy at times, I think it's the best way to do it. So you should be on the lookout for that. Our comms geniuses here to the right will find a way to shoot it and size it up to get it on social media for you as we go. Look, Joe discussed the Stop and Shop settlement, and I want to say that no matter what you do, there's always going to be pluses and minuses. No matter how good a settlement is for one person, there's always going to be somebody who feels it maybe could have been better here or it isn't good for me there. The one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to apologize for being able to do something for a couple of groups of people, but not be able to do something for every group of people. And this presumption or this mentality that because we were able to include a couple of categories in a higher wage progression, that it wasn't fair that we didn't include other categories, it's totally understandable, right? If you were one of the have-nots, you felt as if you were left behind. But this is a process in every way, shape, or form. Our contracts are 40-something articles, in many cases 40-something pages, and it took sometimes 30 or 40 years to get to the point that we're at. Nothing came overnight. Nothing came in one set of bargaining. Nothing came because we snapped our fingers. To be angry or discontent with a contract that may not have addressed your specific issue this time, but did address people in a similar circumstance, it provides more of an opportunity to address those issues the next go-around. You know, it might sound easy for me to say, but at the end of the day, to hold one group of people back because we can't pull the rest up to the same level doesn't make any more sense to me than all or nothing. It just, I get it. People are going to feel how they're going to feel, and that's why you all have the right to vote, and I don't. We are responsible to bargain the contracts, forgive me, and your responsibility is to show up and vote. And some people showed up and had legitimate complaints. Some people showed up and had emotional outbursts. For the record, the contract was unbelievably, overwhelmingly accepted. But there were small pockets of people that were unhappy, and we represent them as well. And we want to hear what's on their mind. We want to discuss it with them. We want to have non-emotional, intelligent conversations about why they feel the way they do and what we can do go forward to try to address it. But at the end of the day, there are always going to be some people that stir the pot, whether it's the best deal or the worst deal. And to the pot stirrers, enjoy yourself. Your 15 minutes are almost up. It's a 5-year contract. We're proud as shit of it, and it was overwhelmingly accepted by the membership. So when somebody argues that, and again, it was always about compression. We had 3 proposal meetings and people screaming about wage compression like it was a disease. And the contract we cut spread the wages out to reward our most senior people. So what happens? The people who are at the back a little bit screaming that they got left behind. But up until minimum wage did what it did over the last 5 or 6 years, that spread would have existed anyway. So now we address an issue, but by proxy, we create another issue. We went back to there being a spread based on your seniority. It's really difficult to try to address 6,300 people's independent issues at the same time across the table. But we had a 16-member negotiating committee. 16, representative of just about every category in the store throughout the jurisdiction, upstate, Long Island, and through the city. White, black, old, young, man, woman, gay, straight, all present at the table. And we did the absolute best we could. Settling early does not mean that we settled for anything less than what we were able to accomplish. Settling early means that Joe, Ally, and your negotiating team did their homework, spent the time, and got it done without the bullshit of 15 or 16 extra meetings. I'm not embarrassed by that by any way, shape, or form. And there are multiple UFCW local unions that have gotten a copy of our settlement and are very much so looking forward to trying to negotiate similar settlements in their locations. If you're upset about it and there's a specific question you want to talk to me about, give me a call. I'm here every day. If you just want to stir the pot, at what point does it end? Because at the end of the day, it's a 43% increase over the last 4.5-year contract, and you had 35% plus increases in your annuity, 22% increases in the welfare. It's a solid deal, and I'm proud of it. So I'm proud of the committee. I want to thank Joe, Ally, and all the staff that jumped in to help. To our 3 E-Board members that sat through bargaining. Keith, I believe you've been through quite a few at this point. Chucky and I talked earlier today. Chucky's been negotiating contracts for Stop and Shop back to Frank Meehan being the president. Schnoz has probably been around with 2 companies because I think he used to bargain for Edwards before the acquisition by Stop and Shop. It's a solid deal done by all, and I just want to say thank you for the hard work and for the effort. One of the things that we were able to get in that contract was Stop and Shop's support at the trustee table on making some changes to, or increases to, the benefit package. So yesterday at the trustee meeting, we were able to codify that the dental benefits are going to go up effective January 1st, 2026. The member benefits are going to go from $2,000 to $3,000 a year cap. The spousal benefit will go from $1,500 a year to $1,750, and the dependent child for the full-timers in the any place where the dependent children are covered will go from $1,250 to $1,500 a year. In addition, they're going to look at the schedule, so there'll be a higher reimbursement schedule paid either to the provider if you go to a panel dentist or to you if you go to a private dentist and then submit for reimbursement. They're also going to look to eliminate some inconsistencies, differences in how anesthesia is covered. It's covered for this, but not covered for that. Appliances like crowns for a root canal versus an implant. I'm not saying we're going to cover implants, but if we're going to cover an appliance at the end of one service, not covering an appliance at the end of the other really is inconsistent. But we're going to allow the professionals from DDS who handle your dental panel now to review that. And those changes will all happen effective January 1st, 2026. Additionally, we got the board to agree to institute a lifetime hearing aid benefit. We don't know what that rate's going to be yet. We're still negotiating with different vendor partners to get the best deal possible for a lifetime hearing aid benefit. We're also, one of the people that we're negotiating with is willing to extend the discounts even to our regular part-time workforce that doesn't have a medical component, just for the opportunity to work with our full-time, special part-time, and ACA plan. That's a benefit that it has an extreme dollar value. If you're gonna walk in the door and get a 30 or a 40% discount just because you're a member of our union, that's value all day, every day. And the number of people, I know a lot of you, it's not a shot, but the number of people in our stores that have a hearing aid or have a hearing problem and don't want to admit it or don't want to spend the money, maybe this will help you. What was that, Brian? Yeah, I can hear you, brother. I can hear you. Okay. It's an opportunity really to get that addressed. You know, one of the things that we learned as trustees at the last conference we were at was that the rate of mental illness that surrounds hearing loss and the rate of people that fall into deep depressions and withdraw from their families and society because they can't hear, it's exponential. And it can destroy people's lives. So if you're able to get it resolved, if you're able to get it addressed, and there's a benefit to the union where the union is paying for the lion's share of it if you're getting a higher end device, or all of it if you're getting a mid-range device, I mean, that's something that we think is long overdue, and we're looking to do it. And we're really proud that the Board of Trustees approved that for January 1st, 2026. So there'll be more information to come about that. Just a couple of changes that you should know about. As if a new international president wasn't enough change, we're also got a new president of the New York City Central Labor Council. Vinny Alvarez, after almost 3 decades working for the New York City Central Labor Council, announced that at the end of June he's going to step back, and the board elected Brendan Griffith to be the new president of the Central Labor Council. It's a temporary appointment, but then in July we would vote again, and all indications are that Brendan will be the new president of the New York City Central Labor Council. Those of you that have ever come to the Labor Day parade with us, you've seen Vinny. He's always there in full force. Vinny has been an unbelievable guiding light for the labor movement in New York City for a long period of time. He's been an ally to this union. He has worked with 4 different presidents of Local 1500. Seeing him go is a very difficult situation. You want anyone to get to the end of the road and retire and spend time with their family, but replacing somebody like Vinny Alvarez is a very, very difficult task. That being said, Brendan Griffith has been with Vinny for a very long period of time. He's his chief of staff now, so there should be a very low transition from one to the other. But Brendan, if you asked him himself, would tell you he's got very big shoes to fill in Vinny Alvarez. So hopefully at the next shop steward seminar, we can get Brendan to come out, introduce himself to our stewards, and establish a new relationship with us going forward. The last thing I wanted to discuss isn't the best news, but you know, we get a little bit of flack from our folks at D'Agostino and Gristedes that we don't show them enough love. Whether it's at a shop steward seminar or whether we're at a meeting. So I wanted to discuss something that those 2 employers recently went through. They had staff reductions at both D'Agostino and Gristedes. The employer is not doing what it used to do. You know, Gristedes was a massive, massive company that had stores out on the east end of Long Island. D'Agostino, for those of you that are old enough, remember the commercials, "Oh, please, Mr. D'Agostino, move closer to me." We had stores in Brooklyn, stores upstate. Both of those companies have gone through an unbelievable amount of contraction over the years. And they're shells of what they used to be. But they're still in business. And quite frankly, they probably wouldn't be in business if not for the owner. I can have a lot of arguments with owners, but owners that keep companies that are in the red afloat, whether I get mad at them during contract time or on a grievance or not, They're keeping hundreds and hundreds of our members working in the city of New York right now that otherwise would probably be out of jobs if any one of us was the CEO. So we went through a really difficult process with them. Originally, when they came to us, they were looking for 90 people being laid off at D'Agostino. There's an interesting clause in their contract which meant it had to be 2 part-timers for every full-timer. So they were looking to lay off 30 full-timers and 60 part-timers, and they were looking to lay off 13 full-timers out of the Gristedes company. Just as a point of understanding, there's only 4 Gristedes stores left that we represent. There are plenty of others, but they're represented by Local 338. There's a bilateral agreement there, and there are only 10 D'Agostino left. So if you do that math in your head, if they were going to lay off 90 people, that's almost 10 people per D'Agostino, and laying off 13 full-timers out of 4 remaining Gristedes stores. That should give you an indication of how deep the cuts would have been. These are not superstores. These are New York City-based stores. They're much smaller. They're more like a Key Food than they are like a King Cullen, a Stop and Shop, or a ShopRite. So I'm really proud of our staff. I'm proud of Greg Pasquale, George Capagianopoulos, Juan Gordado, Vilmarie Flores, Dave Bridgelal, and I'm definitely missing someone. Was that the whole crew, or am I missing someone? And Danny Rogers, for really going through and working through this situation with both employers. They are owned by a single CEO, but it's 2 different banners, it's 2 different contracts, and we were able to mitigate over 60% of the losses. We were able to find different ways to keep people working. We were also able to make sure that the company did it by seniority. There was some misconceptions. There were some attempts to do things that fell afoul of how we know layoffs to be done. And to their credit, they worked with us after we pointed it out. But it was a long, hard fight. And at the end of the day, although we were able to significantly reduce the layoffs, 1 job lost is 1 job too many. And, you know, we do everything we can to try to help some of those folks. Some of them actually landed opportunities in other places. Some were able to jump to non-union positions, exempt positions. You know, sometimes people don't want to leave the union and step up and take management positions. But when faced with that opportunity or a layoff, I think people have a much easier decision to potentially take keys. We're really proud of what we were able to accomplish there. But to our folks at Gristedes and D'Agostino, no disrespect, we love you to death. We fight for you today just as hard as we fought for you when you were 600 deep in Gristedes and 1,200 deep at D'Agostino. Please don't feel as if you're a bastard stepchild. We love you. We'll continue to fight like hell for you. So I don't want to end on a downer, but you know, no matter how good things are in one company, we always have drama in some others. And as happy as we are with the brand new 5-year contract at Stop and Shop, we had losses in 2 of our other banners. So remember, there's always more to the world than just what you see in the mirror when you go to the bathroom in the morning. Remember about your brothers and sisters and your co-workers in this movement, because without everybody, it's a really difficult boat to row by yourself. So I want to thank you all for the opportunity to be the president. Thanks for coming out on such a beautiful day. We've had so many rainy days. When I saw it was going to be almost 80 degrees today, I was like, this is going to be a ghost town. So seeing all of you here is something we greatly appreciate. And for those of you on YouTube Live, thank you for taking the time. Even if you are sitting at the beach laughing at us all sitting in the room, we still appreciate the fact that you took some time. So thank you all very much. If there's any questions, you want to grab them, and then you guys got to do a raffle, right?
Yeah, we'll do Q&A, then we'll do Steve's raffle, and then we'll do the gift cards. Are there any questions in the room that folks might have? Okay, no questions in the room? That's good.
That's a good thing.
Good thing. Means we covered just about everything, right?
Go ahead. Of course.
My wife, she's from 342.
Did everybody hand in their
I wanted to see if I could put her on my insurance. Or is that a conflict between the 2 unions?
Does she have insurance at 342? You could coordinate benefits. It could be a secondary, but you wouldn't be able for her to drop those benefits and then add her to ours.
Oh, that's what I wanted to do, to give her like a secondary.
Yeah, you can coordinate that benefit for sure.
To do that for me, but they said no.
Yeah, I don't know if they do, we do. You can contact the medical department. Who's here?
Who's here from medical?
Is Sefcik here? No, she gone. Okay. Well, where are you right now?
What store?
Yeah. Which one, brother? There's 59 of them. We'll make sure we get your rep to talk to you.
Ozone Park?
All right. I'm just going to jump into a couple questions. We could just keep it down for 2 seconds.
Listen up, please.
So,
Listen up.
Deb Athens from Dan Supreme, number 12. What are the chances of opening an online store selling union hats, T-shirts, and hoodies? Deb, I got to be honest. I don't think I could run an online store. If you're looking for a hat or something like that, I'm sure we can get somebody to come out and see you. Dave Bridgelow knows who you are. We've known you for a long time. I'm sure we can get you something.
Yeah,
But
we've done that before.
I definitely don't plan on opening an online store. I apologize. Danny Augustine, how you doing, Danny? I hope Katie's doing well. If someone retires before they turn 65, will the union offer insurance that is not COBRA, other than COBRA? Well, Danny, I can tell you right now, unfortunately, we cannot do a plan beyond the Aetna plan, which we have for retirees who retire at age 65. And obviously, COBRA is only guaranteed for 18 months. I believe it's guaranteed for 3 years on a disability. But right now, there is no way for us to act solely as an independent insurance agent. I don't know where we would actually get the funding for that. Our benefit plan right now costs the employers somewhere in the ballpark of $15.65 PM per member per month. So even if we were able to offer that to a member, it would probably be at a rate higher than that. So I think it potentially could be something where it would be cost prohibitive. I also don't know what the legality would be of us just acting almost like as an independent insurance broker. There'd be probably some conflicts of interest there, but I'd want to talk to fund counsel. As I sit here right now, Danny, I don't know of any plans to even entertain that or try that. I also don't know if any other unions that we do business with have anything even similar. But give me a call. We could talk about it. I don't know if you're still on nights. My guess is yes if you're in 40, but give us a call. We'll chat it up, all right? Any other questions in the room? All right, well then let's get to the raffles. Where's the beard of knowledge?
Went in here. I don't know where he is. He keeps disappearing when we need him. Steven!
You can bring those up. We're just waiting on Z. He's worried about you guys jacking him up. He's carrying $1,100.
He chose Paulie. You want to do another box, or you want to do?
No. Do we have another box? We could dump these up. Where's our little
Oh,
wheel?
it's right there. The box is there.
Where's our wheel?
Hey,
Bless you.
is that empty? What?
Online, just leave it
I'll
over
leave it there.
next to it, please. Thank you. Where's the wheel? The thing? This is what this is for.
Okay, guys. All right, which one of you young men gonna come up here and pull this raffle ticket?
Take it up.
Shake it up.
Take it up.
Shake it up.
Take it up.
Let's go.
Take it up.
Damn, bro. The bag is empty.
All right, look that way. Reach in there and grab one.
Just one.
And the winner is. Where is he?
I don't know.
Right here. Dave Bridgelow.
Great.
They don't tell them to put the freaking name on it.
I don't know. Okay. Congratulations.
All the time. All the time.
We want to repoll.
Congratulations.
For the record, I told our staff, when you buy tickets, put somebody else's name on it, just in case. Dave Brislov.
Maybe someone else put his name on it. Who knows? Let's line up those numbers. See who actually won.
Are you ready?
Ready to roll. We have 30 gift cards tonight.
That's the online box.
That's online, and this is.
30.
We got e-board folks here.
How much, 25?
E-board's out, right?
E-board's,
E-board cards.
e-board's out, but you're right. But okay, I'll pick.
Pull that one.
David Huang. I don't know if I said that right.
Coming up.
Fubazar. Yeah. Congratulations. Hey, watch your step.
David, I'm going to ask you to pick 2 cards. We're going to do 10. We'll do 10 in the room.
10 in the room. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Margie Clerico and Brian Lewis.
Oh!
I'll give Peace a chance first.
Brian?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
All
Good to
right.
see you.
All right, all right.
Wait 1 second. Stay right there. Margie.
Margie.
I'm sorry.
Hi, Margie.
Jansen. Brian, pick
Congratulations.
the card. Margie, pick the card. Thank you. The Old Home Week. Gail Hengel.
Gail. Gail Hengel.
Yoshi Flores.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Gail. There you go. Congratulations.
I'll lower the box.
Satoshi. Satoshi. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Don't go anywhere.
Pick one. Thank you.
This is 2.
I can go, right?
Pick just one?
Yep, just
You picked one, right?
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
You got a count going?
Jeff Ren Antunes.
Yeah.
Is it Jeffrin or is it Jeffrey? Jeffrey. Jeffrey. All right, there we go. I said it right. And Guadalupe. What? Nahoro.
Congratulations.
Cortez.
Don't go anywhere.
Oh, Guadalupe. I'm sorry.
Guadalupe.
Guadalupe. Naharo. That's you?
Yeah. It's old school. Fair.
My bad. All right, so what do we got? Got the card?
Thank you very
That's
much.
how many?
That's
6, 7. Okay, 1 and 1. Both of you pick a card. All right. Thank you. Kathy Weisenberger.
Kathy. Yeah.
Paul Martino.
Paul Martino. Hi, Kathy.
Paul Martino.
How are you?
All right.
It's Kathy.
I was going to say, if I call it a 3rd time, they're going to be like, Don left. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'll pick one.
How are you? Good to see you again.
Good to
Thank you. Aileen. Yeah. There's only one of you. Come on up. All right, hold on 1 second. Stay right there. All right, now we're going to introduce.
Thank you, Aileen.
We're going to introduce the. Hang on. I'm going to use that box. So we're going to introduce the Facebook Live cards.
Pick my name, Aileen.
YouTube Live.
Well, he didn't pick my
Another
name.
boomer moment for me. Hang on 1 second.
Folks on YouTube are like, wait, what?
All right.
Where's that link?
All right, yeah. Pick one. Pick one. Both of you. Thank you.
2.
YouTube Live. Well, you got 2.
Uh-oh.
You got to pick one or the other. All right. Give me that one too. I don't want to do that.
3.
Thank you. All right. YouTube Live. King 64, Laura Udil.
Laura! Congratulations.
Stephanie Toto, Stop and Shop 562.
Stephanie.
YouTube Live. And Yes Me Membreno, Stop and Shop 2565.
Yeah. YouTube Live made a big
right.
comeback.
You're in 342, right? Come pick 3 cards. This way nobody can argue that the fix is
I'm saying
easy.
that
What,
like
like
12, 13.
They're a little thick, sometimes they stick together.
12. It's
That's
13.
one.
What you got?
Membrano.
Membrano. Let me give it to him now.
I didn't write it down.
Okay.
Take it later.
Oh, that's good. You were right to the middle. 3. All right, all YouTube Live. Chris Pollock, Polachek, excuse me. King Cullen 51. Sebahate Shabani, stopping SRS 293. John Jenkins, Stop and Shop 2586. Alicia, come pick a couple of cards. What do you got left?
Oh, one,
You got 15?
yeah,
So
15,
you got
15 left.
You got one right here.
Okay, it's 16.
So we got 14 to go.
Yeah.
You. I know I said your name, but I was looking right at you. All right, come on, pick like 4.
Is that loud?
YouTube Live.
Is that loud?
YouTube Live. YouTube Live. Everybody hates you.
No one in the room.
All right, Dawn
Yeah, 4
Brander,
chances.
King Cullen number 3.
Yay, Dawn.
Matthew Bracco, King Cullen 47. I'm seeing a trend. Ariana Sanzone 199 SRS. And Hyman Lawrence, Stop and Shop 501. All right, Kathy, you can't win again. Come pick a couple of cards. I'll come to you. How many we got left?
We got 10 left.
10 left. 10 left. Pick 3. So that's 1 in the room.
14.
That's 2 in the room. Should have went to Kathy earlier. All right.
18.
Facebook Live, Michelle Processian, Stop and Shop 562.
Yeah. Michelle.
In the room, Rocky Shalepi, Stop and Shop 564. And Rich Harris, Stop and Shop 559. All right, get your cards first.
Congratulations, Rich.
Come this way, come this way. All right, 2 and 2. No, look, look that way. Rock, hang on, 2 cards.
I got it.
Very good, 2 cards, look that way.
So we give him 10.
Well, that's 2. 1, 2. Well done. 1 in the room out of 4, just saying. Big drop off. Alan Marcusano,
Yeah.
Cullen 17. Carlos Smith, King Cullen number 8. Joe Giblin, Stop and Shop 551. And Bill Cummings from King Cullen number 1. All right, so what do you got left?
Sorry, it was a little shaky getting up there.
That's okay, brother. Give him 1 for Alan.
Alan, congratulations. Huh?
Good, thank you.
Hang on 1 second.
Giblin.
Good. That one he's got. That's Alan.
7.
So we got 3.
3.
All right, 3 to go.
Way to go.
Pick them all. Look that way.
Okay.
Crazy over here.
You got 3. You drop 1.
Good.
All right, we got 3. Rob Foster, King Cullen 26.
Oh, that's on Facebook. YouTube Live.
YouTube Live, John Terrell, Stop and Shop 545. And the final card on YouTube Live, Sharon Spooner, Stop and Shop 566.
Thank you.
Any other questions in the room?
Yeah.
Seeing none, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Peter Hoffman, second by March Clerico. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Good, there's no crazy people. Have a great night. Thank you so much. Enjoy your summer.
Bye, folks. Thank you.